Hi everyone, this is Killshot 99 Gaming. This is Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 mid-season finale live countdown. I know the group is super excited. We were a little rough on last week's episode, but last week's episode was necessary for this week's episode. So we're going to put all the past behind us. I am ready for some action. I'm ready for some excitement. I think the writers are going to do us justice. There's a lot of good storylines tonight, and I see some people are popping here already. This has a Walking Dead excitement feel to it. I know, a lot of times with the season premiere, the mid-season finale, and the end, we're all supercharged. This is the first Fear the Walking Dead. Well, I guess other than the season 4 episode 1 this season, I was pretty excited about that. So this is right up there with it. Do want to acknowledge a couple super chats. I can see Pete D says, I have a feeling that tonight's episode will not disappoint. I am right there with you, Pete D. Thank you for that contribution. And Valar walking in the room saying, hello, 99 Army, Kill, Steph, Emmy, Kales, Bree, Sweet Tommy, sponsors, and Patreons. So let's get right back into it. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful Sunday afternoon. Make sure you guys slap that like button. So I got several storylines I want to address tonight. Going back and watching the teaser, there are some things that really start to stand out. I don't want to be grim. I don't want to be creepy with this prediction, but Madison is holding a flare. And there are walkers, and there is oil, and that's not usually a good combination. And we hear Madison say in the teaser, I've lost everything. I got nothing else to live for. So, I hope Madison does not torture herself. I mean, that would be, she'd be like a walking torch and bring all the walkers into her. I mean, that would be some crazy television stuff, but we have talked about her sacrificing herself to save her kids. I do also want to say that there is someone brought this up. Someone posted this as a response, so this is not me, and it just brought it back to my attention. Remember, Victor has the bad hand, and that is current time. So Victor is he doesn't want to talk about it. He's referenced so many times that Madison has saved him. Is it possible that Victor burnt his hand trying to save Madison? That's just a question I want to throw out there. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But the fact that they're not talking about Madison leads me to believe that they assume that she's dead. Now, if she's not, then I think, we'll be surprised, we'll be shocked. But just keep in mind the hand of Strand, because I think that's going to be something that happens tonight, that because we didn't see that accident. And when I first saw it, I'm thinking like maybe it was when Madison saved Victor that he hurt himself somehow. But I think it's going to have to do with tonight. Some people are coming out making their predictions saying Madison is alive. I don't know. I can't buy into that just yet. All right, couple other things here. Let's talk about Alicia and the noodles. So, what is that all about? Is Alicia, we don't see who she's talking to, but it looks like she's in the tank or she's confronting Althea. Is it possible that Althea helped Madison and she got the goods, she got the supplies? Could that have been like a bug out bag or something that Madison had packed and Alicia is like, where did you get these? So there were some things that were packed for the just in case. It definitely looked like noodles. I went back and watched it again. Noodles or macaroni or something. And I'm almost thinking that it was part of the stuff that was packed up, or maybe it was, something, maybe we'll see a little bit of it, or maybe we missed it. I mean, it was something she might have been packing for Alicia when she was a kid. So, yeah, I think it was noodles. She was trying to get that. So if Althea actually commandeered some of that stuff, then that would explain why Alicia is like, where did you get this? Because it just seemed out of nowhere, right? What is she upset for about a box? It's probably ramen. I don't know. I don't have the exact brand. Chicken flavor ramen, maybe. Alicia's favorite. Could all be on tape, right? All right, a couple other things. This picture that we have up there on the screen with Morgan and Naomi going in to get the supplies to help John. The look of shock, I'm going to ask the group here, a herd of walkers, or are they confronted by someone here? Is this where maybe they run into Strand and Alicia? Could Madison be hiding out down there? What do you guys think? What do you think about this particular scene where they're going into the infirmary? Maybe someone is in there, confronted. I mean, we don't have a lot to go on, so we're going to have to put our best foot forward here and really piece it together tonight. Looks like walkers. And we did see a couple of the, they were fighting walkers, but I'm not sure if that's this particular scene. Morgan does have the radio in his hand. Okay, and we do get a little bit more confirmation. We don't have all the scenes, but if you go back and you watch the teaser, Naomi is running away from the stadium, and she's running and she looks kind of over to the left and there's walkers, and then she kind of turns around and she runs away. So there are a few scenes that if you freeze frame them and you go through and sort of do like we need the 999 Army CSI tonight, there were a few things that looked a little weird. Charlie being in the car with the guy, I could not tell. It did not look like Mel. I couldn't tell who was driving the car. I did see that scene, and Charlie's got tears running down her eyes. Maybe it was, and it was a bad angle, but it didn't look like Enos, and it didn't look like Mel. I couldn't tell who was driving the car. But Charlie's kind of looking away, and you can see the tears. Yeah, right? Beth Brigette says she was kind of looking back at the stadium. That's what I thought. And I was kind of looking at the profile, but I only saw it for a split second. And, I mean, it could have been a rough version of Mel. It didn't look a whole lot like Mel to me, so I thought somebody else might have saved them. But it doesn't appear that Naomi has time. The reason I'm bringing this up, it doesn't appear like Naomi has time to actually help Madison. But if she was surrounded and if she found a way to get away, I guess, why would Nick and Alicia think that Naomi was dead unless they think that everyone was dead? And if so, it's going to be a very gruesome episode. Because at first, you know, a few weeks ago we talked about, well, what if the vultures helped a few, took a few of them in? It looks like 40-something people are going to get murdered tonight in tonight's show. I mean, it could be that grisly and that gruesome. Because I don't think people are going to get the option to say, hey, wait for me, I want to join the vultures. I think they're gone. So in theory, the most you could possibly have are what? Lucy, Strand, Nick. Well, we know Nick's dead now, but Alicia, Madison maybe in play. So out of those 48 people, 42, 43 are gone. Absolutely. Ron Moore says 700 walkers would do a ton of damage. So you got to think about that. I mean, this is not your typical, hey, there's 2 or 3 walkers we got to fight out in the woods. This is a stadium being inundated, just being flooded with walkers. Now, it appears that there's a door that is holding the walkers back. I think Madison had a flare in her hand, and she's going to open the gate to let them in. Now, you guys got to help me. How could Madison possibly escape that? And I guess this would be, so we know Nick and Alicia got away, and we know that Lucy and Strand got away. So those are really the only four. But if Madison did get away, it's completely separate from the rest of the group. So the fact that Lucy didn't talk about it, that Nick and Alicia were so upset, maybe Strand and Lucy didn't talk about it because they didn't want to make it any worse that they lost their mom. Because the key is they're not, I mean, wouldn't you think if they escaped, I got to ask this to the group. I may eat my words. I very well may eat my words tonight because I predicted that Madison didn't get out. And we had 2 or 3 different scenarios. One is we get Madison's story come to a complete conclusion. She dies saving her kids. Right, Kel, I get that. We know that Mel got away and joined Naomi at some point, right, and we see Charlie in the car. But the main difference in that is Nick and Alicia are in the car with Mel. So that we got to see that break up. But Strand, Lucy, and Madison are somewhat together. So for them to get separated, Madison to have the torch, Strand to have the burnt hand, something doesn't add up there. Naomi, I know how Naomi gets away. Naomi runs away. I see her running by herself. So Chris Raining says Madison looks like she dies, but she doesn't. I think that's a very valid plot. And I am open to it happening. I'm open to be entertained by it. But rest assured, if it doesn't jive, if it doesn't match up, we're going to talk about it. Because we did talk about last week. So Madison looks like she's going to go out there on her own. She even says, look, I got people out there depending on me. She's determined to get through the gate. We know there's going to be a shootout. There's going to be some guns a-blazing tonight. Well, and tonight is no one's gone. So you're not gone till you're gone, but no one's gone, but there's going to be a whole lot of gone tonight. You know what? 42 are going to die. Madison making it 43. It could happen. So Gina says Lucy and Strand got out. Why couldn't she have gotten out? Well, if she did get out, she's the only person to get out that's completely solo. So Naomi got out. She got with the vultures. Nick, Alicia, Strand, Lucy all found each other. So how could Nick, Alicia, Lucy, and Strand all sort of regroup? Everybody has a group except Madison. And not only did she, okay, let's buy the theory she got out. So not only did she get out, but she hasn't been able to communicate. She hasn't been able to contact anybody. Nothing. So zero. No smoke signal. No nothing. For days. Maybe even longer than days. Maybe a few weeks. So I'm not dogging out theories. What I'm saying is, I'm saying that we've got two ends of the spectrum here. We've got some people that are saying, she's dead, she's dead. We got some people holding on that Madison's going to live, and they believe it. I'm trying to straddle the neutral ground here and say both are options. Although I predicted Madison's going to die. So if I had to go out on a limb and predict one or the other, it's making more sense to me by what I see that she's gone. However, I'm not saying it's impossible. It's The Walking Dead. Anything's possible. But what I'm saying is, let's rationalize it for a moment. Well, Gina, I guess my question would be, she's the only person that we haven't seen. If she's not alone, we've seen a storyline with everywhere else. We don't see her. So, yes, the writers could have had her intentionally blockaded in. I understand. But it's more likely than not that we haven't seen a follow-up story to Madison. So it's all speculative, right? It's not impossible, and it could definitely be one of those things that the writers want to, like Chris said, the writers could get us leaning one way and moving another way. But Madison hasn't been able to find her kids. Her kids have not been able to find her. She apparently did not get in with the vultures like Naomi did. So it's just looking less and less likely. It's going to have to be a major dumpster scene. Maybe not to that extreme. I'm going to throw this out to the group. So, question for the group. Is it believable, I guess, at this point? Chris, I'll put the spotlight on Chris. Chris, she's alive. Where's she at? What's she doing? Where's she been? I got to know. I think Elvis, you might be in the wrong chat. You might be looking for Graceland. It's going to be west from here. That's only one story. I am going, you know what? I'm going to zoom in on one of our beloved moderators. Emmy Desiree says, to be honest, if the writers are smart, they will kill Madison to keep the momentum of the show direction. I agree. I agree 100% with that. I'm okay. But, we'll find out. All I'm going to say is that if she goes out tonight saving her kids, I won't cry. It won't be like a Carl scene. I can promise you. I'll be okay. We got other people. We're fine. If she survives it, I'm going to be saying, please, I hope her character does not baby Alicia anymore in the second half of season 4. Please let Madison become a complete badass and stop being mother hen, because I can't stand it. It's flashbacks of the first couple seasons, and they were terrible. Terrible. I love the momentum of the show. I like what they got going on. I like the story. I like that they switched tenses on us. They're making us think about it. They got all these plots that I want them to tell the story. I want some finality. And, hey, you know what? I mean, we're all passionate. I might have shed a little tear when Abraham died. I love Big Red. I didn't. I got it. I understood it. But you do have to understand the hype about tonight. That's what's so good about it, because we're fired up. We want to know so many questions. I'm going to ask a few of them. Before I do that, if you guys can do me a favor, 100, 120, we're fluctuating all around with people watching the stream. If you guys could all slap the like button. I know we got at least 70, 80 members of the 999 Army in here. So come on, Army, hit that like button. Make sure when this video goes live, you guys leave a lot of comments, share the video, talk about it, get more people in here for the dialogue and debate. Before we get into some other things that are going to go down tonight as well, I do want to say tonight at 10:20 we will be doing our reaction video. As always, a lot of passion is going to be involved in that. Tomorrow night we'll be recapping the episode. Tuesday night at 9:30 we'll be doing random things, and then Wednesday we'll be doing bold predictions. We'll take a couple days off, and then next week we are going to start our Season 9 Walking Dead countdown. We had a lot of fun with that last year. We're going to do Season 9, Episode 1. We're going to piece together any data, any rumors, any pictures, and we're going to talk about it, make our predictions. The next week after that, we'll do Episode 2, so on and so forth, all the way up to the mid-season finale. So that's a lot of fun, some really good theories, some really good... some of them are out there a little bit, but you never know. I mean, we didn't think Simon would make it, and look at that. Some people said Simon would make it, and he would be the new Negan, but that didn't pan out, where we called that there would be a fallout between Negan and Simon. Loved it. Loved the 999 Army and all the predictions. All right, so let's get back to Clown Dust. Thursday Thrones will not happen because I will be on vacation Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then I'll come back Sunday. So it'll happen the following week when we get back on a regular schedule. All right, so some more questions have to be answered tonight. We did talk a little bit about Alicia and the noodles. So it looks like she might be directing that at Althea. So I'm gonna buy into it a little bit. If Madison survived, could Alicia have been, I'm sorry, backtrack, rewind, scratch it. If Madison survived, you got too many owls here, could Althea have been responsible, or could Althea have been filming it? She's driving down the street, imagine that. Hey, wait, there's a stadium on fire. And then instead of helping Madison, what if she was like taping it and taking her noodles? Whoa, now. That would be, you talk about setting up a fight. Could you imagine in this corner Alicia, in this corner Althea? Check the tapes. Drama. What if she's filming it and you hear in the background somebody asking for help and she didn't help her? Or maybe she did. Yeah, I didn't it's like, that's my rewind sound. I can only do it sometimes. Miss Monster, I love this. Oh my God, Althea filming it? Kill her now. Hey, Althea, she doesn't put the camera down for anybody. Even in tonight's episode, she's gonna hand the camera over to Charlie. Morgan's like, are you sure that's a good idea? Look, people are gonna want to know what happened here. Right? Okay? So keep filming. I'm telling you, the camera is bothering me a little bit. I'm not a big fan of her filming everything. But there is definitely some evidence on the tapes. But that is going to be an interesting story. So I just want to throw that out there as an option. Maybe Althea helped. Maybe she didn't help. All right, let's see. One or two more questions here. One thing that I think there is a little bit of comic relief tonight when Althea says this is like a tank in a vault and the door falls off the tank. So you can see the look on her face. And I think when you have a little bit of that comic relief, it might be a very, very heavy episode. That's the other thing that just sort of led me to believe, like, there's going to be a lot of death tonight. So, Ron is predicting the camera will be broken tonight. I don't think so. I don't think yet. I think there's going to be some watching of those tapes. At some point, they're going to get wise. They're just letting her do her own thing. They're like, okay, she's a journalist. This is a little weird. She's getting our story. But at some point, they're going to be like, wait a minute. how many other stories did she get? Maybe you're right. Maybe some people are going to want to know what happened, and we are those people. We want to know right now what happened. That's how it's going to go down. I agree. Villar, you know what? That is probably the best yet. It better be good. What's going to happen if it's not? We're going to tear the writers apart tonight. We have set this up. I mean, it's easy, right? I mean, we came in, we balled in, we're here, we're watching it, we're hyped up. We want to see the show again. We want to see it like it's the real Walking Dead. So through 7 episodes, there's been 5 really good ones. 2 I have my doubts about, but 5 and 2 is not a bad ratio. 6 to 2 would definitely be great. 5 and 3, they need to give me something that lasts until we're not going to have Walking Dead for a couple of months. So we're still going to be talking about The Walking Dead. Okay, can I say something, please? Kills, you're right. Charlie is not Naomi's daughter. Well, yeah, I'm right about a few things. But there's some crazy predictions, and the best predictions are the ones that you are a little bit crazy with. Because they're the ones that are shocking. Like none of us would have predicted that Charlie would have shot Nick. I mean, that was wild. So it needs to be a Charlie shooting Nick moment. So here we go. And I'll probably ask this again in the reactions. So through the first 7 episodes, at this point, and I might have given it away for a lot of people, what is the biggest shocker with Fear the Walking Dead through the first 7 episodes? I'm going to read a couple of the comments here. Oh, Pete M., I hope they cliffhanger it like Grand Canyon cliffhanger. That's what I want. I want there to be so much like, oh my God, what happened? And we just talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. I'm totally okay with the cliffhanger. I don't need the answers. They answer too many questions in Fear the Walking Dead. I want to be a little bit curious and figure some of it out for ourselves. So a lot of people are saying Nick by far. So that was just complete shocker. We need a shock tonight. And I don't know that Madison being alive would be a shock. But to be honest with you, I don't know that her being dead would be a shock. And because I can see it going either way. To me, it would be more shocking that she's still alive because we haven't seen her with the group. But it wouldn't be like, wow. Unless they just do it in a way that well, here's the way it would have. It'd have to be a neat way and a way that is feasible. If they could do that somehow, and it's like, oh, I never saw that. Like, it was right there in front of our eyes. That's how she survived. If it's like one of those moments, yes, then I'm okay with it. John getting shot was surprising. I think it was more surprising that Alicia missed and hit John, but she didn't miss and she hit the ambulance. All I'll say is for the really, really hardcore Madison fans out there, it might be tissue night. I think what would give her the most justice, do something heroic, die saving your kids, and that would bring closure to the character for me. I would like that. I'd be like, you know what? It was a tough ride. I understand why she did what she did, and in the end, she did it for her kids. That would make sense for her character. I mean, I won't cry. But we'll talk about it. We'll have a little bit of therapy session. Walking Dead Nerd says, I think that'll be the way it goes down. So we are let's do it one more time. Because there are all these stories that are going down. We talked about Alicia, what's going to happen with Strand, what's going to happen with Althea. But I think the biggest story tonight is Madison. So I'm going to put everybody on the spot here. You got one decision and one decision only. Madison lives, Madison dies. Type it right now, and we're going to close down this video. I'm not going to do shout-outs tonight because everybody's on a short schedule. Go grab some food, get some popcorn, get ready. We will have our reaction video tonight at 10:20, so make sure you're a part of that. And as you can see, if you're watching the playback, this is where the video is going to end. And if you're still here, lives or dies. So Emmy says die. Chris says Madison lives. Pete M says dies. Chukala says Madison dies. Mitch says die. A lot of people die. Oh, hold on. Ultra Groove says lives. Raymond Carter says Madison lives. Oh, come on, Walking Dead nerd. Dies eventually. You're right there in that gray area. Valar says dies. Epic Vids. Alicia dies. No, no, no. Not going to happen. If you want to riot, oh, man, if they killed Alicia and Madison lived, that would be the worst. All right, everybody, you are all officially on record. So as you guys asked me in the previous video, I'm going to go on record and say I think she dies. I reserve the right to be wrong. If I'm wrong, I will tell you about it tonight, and we'll talk about how it happened. I'm okay with it either way, to be honest. I just want to be entertained, and I think the writers are... I think they got us in a good spot, but they have to deliver. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate everybody being here. We're 31 minutes long, and we're going to close this thing down. I will talk to you all at 10:20 for the Walking Dead reaction. Peace.